The church ruins and Miocene sea cliff in Huta Różaniecka. The cliff is older. Geologists estimate its age to be 23 million years. That's a long time. In the face of such time, we can feel as fleeting as a mayfly. The church ruins are younger, around 300 years old. A church was built here in the mid-18th century. The ruins that are now overgrown with birchy saplings are about 185 years old. That's also not much. If it weren't for the cemetery surrounding the church, this place couldn't compare in age to the Miocene Sea. But there is a cemetery, and next to it, the Miocene Sea feels as transient as a mayfly. After all, nothing can measure up to eternity. Another thing that connects both the cliff and the church ruins is their material. Both are made of limestone from the remains of countless creatures, shells of mussels, oysters and scallops. Human remains rest beneath limestone crosses. In Huta Różaniecka, two eternities intertwine, the geological age of the Earth and the anthropic age of humanity. Elements also intertwine, the element of water evidenced by the cliff and the element of fire evidenced by the village name, Huta, from the glass foundry established here in 1713. Over the years, these elements greatly influenced the fate of people and things. The dual nature of the place manifests in various, sometimes surprising forms. One manifestation is water that became stone. Once at the bottom, now it's on top. Stone from local quarries provided for the area's construction needs for nearly 2 centuries. Today, the landscape from the cliff is somewhat impoverished. The stone piles are gone, but the view from Kamienica, as the locals call one of the highest points of Huta Różaniecka's wall, near the monument dedicated to the soldiers of September who died here, and to the villagers murdered by German units during the pacification in June 1943, is unparalleled. During that pacification, the fire consumed the church's roof. The fire was brought by the burning thatch of torched houses. Is that why the western part of Huta is called Niemca? 70 years ago, people spoke and wrote in 2 languages here, Polish and Ukrainian. Even though mostly Poles lived here, they nurtured multiculturalism. It wasn't today's artificial display of folk culture, but a tight, seemingly inseparable blend of family, neighbourly, ethnic, linguistic and economic relations. Just read the inscriptions on the gravestones by the church. During an inventory in 2022, 4 tombstones with dual inscriptions were discovered, Latin on one side and Cyrillic on the other. There aren't many such representations in ROZTOCZE and probably only one more in Zdrój. The Cross of Freedom in the village centre, commemorating the abolition of serfdom in 1848, is also bilingual, suggesting a pattern rather than an exception. And faith. Did we mention faith? It's commonly believed that here on the Polish-Ukrainian borderland, faith defined nationality, but not in Huta. Here, where the ethnic boundary often passed through a marital bed or field, people, before canonical law, prohibited it, often switched between the church and the Orthodox Church. They named their origin faith and nationality as local. And the sea. Did we forget about the sea that constantly reminds of its presence? We've sailed this story into uncharted waters. The north wind blows, raising towering waves of pines before us.